The setting starts off in the summer of 1942 in Mulching. The second part of the setting takes place in Ilsa's library, the basement of the Huberman's home, and outside of the Huberman's home, which is Himmel Street. The characters introduced in the first setting are Liesl, Rudy, Jesse Owens, Franz, Ilsa Herman, and Hans. Other characters introduced in the setting are Rosa, Frau, Pfiffikus, the Jews, Max, and the two men in black coats. The first event in the rising action would be the town of Mulching preparing for the bombing raid. The second event would be Rudy spending the summer training for the Hitler Youth Carnival. The third event would be Rudy disqualifying himself from the race on purpose because he knew he couldn't be exactly like Jesse Owens. The fourth event would be Liesl breaking into Ilsa Herman's house and stealing books and the dictionary, even though Ilsa knew that she was breaking in. The fifth event would be the Huberman family leaving for a bomb shelter with their most precious possessions, and Liesl taking her books. The sixth event would be the cloud of dust in the air, and Hans wondering if he should go help them with recovery, but is told by Rosa to stay. The last event of the rising action are when the trucks transport Jews to the concentration camps, but stop to parade through the town. The climax of Part 7 would be Hans feeding the Jews during the parade a piece of bread. All of the Jews were in miserable condition, but when Hans saw an older man fall down and couldn't keep up, he fed the Jew a piece of bread. The first event of the falling action would be the soldiers whipping the Jew that ate the bread 6 times and whipping Hans 4 times for giving him the bread. The second event were when some Germans abused Hans by turning his paint cart over, and others helped him to his safety. The third event was when Hans worried about the Nazis coming to his house and finding Max hidden in their basement. The fourth event was when Max left the Huberman's home because he didn't want to get caught for living in the Huberman home. The fifth event was when Liesl prayed for the safety of Max being alone in the woods. The final event of the falling action would be Hans taking the blame for giving the Jews a piece of bread. The conclusion would be the two men in the black coats arriving and Hans taking the fault for what has happened. Despite everything Hans had said, the black-coated men made their way to the Steiners, seeking for Rudy. A major theme in Part 7 would be courage. The major theme is courage because the Hubermans have the courage to take in Max, a Jewish young man, and also Hans has the courage to give a Jew a piece of bread.